Okay, 皆さん, I'd like to start off today by introducing a couple more of the kanji that we are going to study in Japanese 1010. So our last set of kanji from Japanese 1010 are ones that are mostly related to our location words that we studied back in chapter 4. So I want to start off a little bit by showing us some of the concept of kanji that we can use to express kind of abstract objects. So a lot of the kanji that we have been talking about up to this point are used to talk about pretty literal things like the sun or the moon. And a lot of them are pretty much like pictures of the sun, right? These kanji are kind of a similar concept, but instead of expressing something we can literally look at, they're expressing an idea. So historically, when the first kanji were used, they might have used like a dot above a line to represent something being up. And over time, that evolved into the kanji that we use for up, ue, nowadays. The same with the kanji for shita. We might have used a dot below a line. And then we would eventually come up with shita, which means like down or under or below. We might have taken a picture of a person stretching their arms and legs way out to show something is big. And then use that later on for a kanji like oki to mean something is big. So a lot of the kanji that we are going to look at today are related to this in some way. Our first set of kanji for today, we are going to look at ue, shita, shita, and naka. So once again, these are kanji relating to our location words that we studied back in chapter 4. So up, ue, down, shita, and in the middle or inside, naka. We will also learn, this one is a new word for us, soto, which means the outside of something. And we will learn migi, right, and hidari, left. We'll also talk just really briefly about this kanji kohl, which we are going to introduce because it is a part of the kanji for left. So let's take a look at our kanji. Once again, the first one that we are going to look at today is ue, which means up or above. This kanji also has a lot of other different readings that we can use because it's really common. It has a lot of ways that it can be read. Right now, we're just going to focus on this ue because it's the one that we are already familiar with, the word that it's reading. So let's take a look at the kanji. We are going to start with a vertical line. Ichi, then ni, san, ichi, ni, san. The second stroke should touch the first stroke, but it doesn't go all the way through. If it goes through, then we'll end up with the do from doyobi, and we don't want that. So just ichi, ni, san, ue. Our next kanji is shita. Shita. We use this kanji to mean down or below. So we will start with the horizontal line this time. Ichi, ni, san. Our last stroke is not straight left to right. It's actually a little bit diagonal, pointing down. Ichi, ni, san. And our last stroke, be careful, it starts a little bit way down the second stroke. So it doesn't start at the place where the first and second stroke meet. It starts a little bit further down. Ich, ni, san. Ichi, ni, san. So this is shita. Our next kanji is naka, which means the middle or the inside. So we will start by drawing this box and then a line that goes straight through the middle. 1, 2, 3, and then right through the middle, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Naka. Our next kanji is soto. Soto is the opposite of naka, so it means outside. This kanji is made up of some parts that might be familiar to us. It's a katakana ta plus a katakana to. So we start by writing the katakana ta and then the katakana to right next to it. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Make sure you write them close together so that we can tell it's one kanji and not two katakana. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Soto. Our next kanji is migi. Migi. So this first shape at the top, these two lines crossed together, represent like a hand. And the one at the bottom is couti, the kanji for your mouth. So you can imagine you using your right hand to put something in your mouth is where this kanji comes from. So this one has a stroke order that is a little bit unexpected for us, maybe. So let's take a look at it together. We are actually going to start from the top with this one. 1, release. And then 2, 3, 4, 5. Once more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Once again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Migi. The next kanji, once again, we are not too focused on the reading right now. It is read kohl. We are mostly focusing on it because it's going to be a part of another kanji. But let's take a look at it. So this kanji might look familiar to you. It is basically the same as the katakana e. So we are going to write, starting with a slightly shorter stroke, 1, 2, and then 3, the longest stroke. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3. So we can use this kohl to write hidari. So once again, this shape here represents a hand. In this case, it represents our left hand. And this represents like a tool that we might hold in our left hand. So we use this to mean left. So this one, it's a little odd. The stroke order is kind of different from the migi one. So this time we're going to start with the horizontal. 1, 2, release. 3, 4, 5. Once again. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And one last time. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Hidari. Okay, so that takes care of our first set of kanji from this chapter. Make sure to practice both reading and writing the kanji so that you can remember them for a long time.